be content with what you have. 100%. Be grateful. If you can put food on the table, you're good. You got your basic necessities covered. You know what now? Somebody wants your fucking freedom. You don't like the truth? That's the truth. You begin realizing certain things about how the world works. And we were talking about it backstage, and it's like when you begin to wake up to certain things and how the world works, you begin to think differently. And just by existing, if you are vocal about what you believe or you're vocal about what you see, naturally, you'll share these things. The problem is most people live in a situation whereby they have something to lose. Therefore, they don't speak their mind, or they don't live their truth because their job's at stake, their reputation is at stake. What is family going to think? So they can't explore other belief systems or other ways of thinking. So they call us crazy, but maybe just an alibi for people's cowardice to, in and of themselves, express how they actually feel. Which is why we talk about money and freedom and all these things, because it gives you the ability to express yourself. Because if you don't have resources to be able to tell people, hey, how you feel and live life on your own terms, which is kind of what we've been talking about, then you don't have that freedom. So it's kind of a dual perspective. You're not going to know everything, right? And also you're not necessarily going to place your belief system into what somebody else has told you. You have to experience it for yourself. So it has to do with experience. It has to do with going through the process of learning truth. Because people are like, oh, like, what do you believe in? Well, if you believe in something, it means that you have no certainty of it. But you need to know things. There's a verse in the Bible that says, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Not you shall believe in some white man with a beard, in heaven that will, no, it says you shall know the truth. So the question is, how do you know the truth? Well, you need to be paying attention. You need to be aware. You need to be observant. You have open ears, and you have humility. People act like, and they walk around like they know shit, like that they have the answers. Well, if you have the answers, then truth will never reveal itself to you. So very much walking with humility and like a student. I think that that's the biggest learning place. The biggest learning place to seek for truth is when you position yourself and being like, hey, I don't know anything. Let the universe reveal itself to me. And it does. And these mysteries, some people like to give it names and characteristics and attributes, but once again, we all experience it differently. So I think that right now we are in a phase of rediscovering humanity. I think we're potentially in the dark ages still of knowledge, of how we operate and what our fullest capabilities and human potential is. If you were born, let's say you were in your people, right, were born into slavery for another nation. And you were in a 600 or 700 year slavery period. Let's say you're born in year 300 of slavery. You're born into that. You have no context of freedom. You don't understand it. It's not been taught to you. You haven't been nurtured under it. It's not in your peripherals. You don't understand it. You may crave it, but you don't understand it because you were born a slave. We were born slaves. Look at the school system. Look at the music. Look at the food. Look at the propaganda, look at the television. They're all tools of slavery, mass slavery. So when you look at all these things and you align it, you're like, whoa, hold a minute. Are they telling me that I'm free, but I'm not? Right? Are they telling me that I have free will, that I can act and choose what I want, but I'm persuaded by all these things around me that create a false identity? We were talking about everything's an illusion. You're sold that this is valuable. You're sold that this is valuable. You're sold that things are real, right? These are beliefs. So what if we've been born into this belief system that we're free, but you look at the byproduct of our existence and we're at 10% capacity of our potential, which means what? Which means it's not that the energy isn't being expended, it's that the energy is going into somebody else's pocket, because we look at money different than rich people look at money. Rich people don't look at money like monetary units. Rich people look at money like energy, because you take that money and you pay somebody for what? Their time and their labor. That labor is energy. Everything is quantified in energy units. So rich people understand that. So they'll give you fake imaginary paper in exchange for what? Your lifespan. That's the game. So if you print the money, you get infinite lifespan that you can play with. That's why you can fund infinite wars. That's why you can fund infinite construction. That's why you can fund infinite slavery, because you can pay people. That's why we're basically debt slaves. So the entire premise of where we currently stand in society is that we need to wake up as a collective consciousness that you aren't what people have told you that you are. You don't need to work a 9 to 5 in order to be validated. You don't need to work for a big company. Yes, making a ton of money is great, but dude, you can make $5,000 a month and live with total freedom. I was happy when I was making 10 grand a month, dude. I had less responsibilities, less problems than I fucking do now. But I've been limited and you can't make $10,000 a month. No, well, you need a college degree. Oh, well, you need to do this. These are all limitations, slave belief systems that have been cast upon us on how we're supposed to operate. And once you break free from that illusion, you begin to realize that you can live life on your own terms. This is where success comes in. It's breaking the current patterns of behavior, because the current patterns of behavior that you have, because you realize that shit's fucked up. Like nobody's stupid. People see it and they're like, yo, this shit's fucked. Okay, but what can I do about it? Well, nothing. Because you look at your calendar and you're like, dude, I'm fucking busy. Dude, when I was cleaning toilets, pressure washing basketball, I was busy. I could still be there doing the same thing, being in that same loop, but upon a new awakening and a new thought, truth acts upon what? Action. So when the world or the universe gives you an insight, if you don't act on that insight, truth stops revealing itself to you because you're not being obedient, you're not listening. So when it tells you, hey, wake up, look at what's taking place. You need to make more money. You need more passports. You need to be able to be financially free. You need to ensure that they don't just jab you and put anything into your body. When you start realizing these things, you need to act. So what does it take to act? You need to be able to set time aside and break out of the current behavioral patterns and create new behavioral patterns towards an elevated lifestyle. And the elevated lifestyle doesn't mean having more things. But even people that have nothing, they still have things to work on. In fact, they have more to work on than most people. But just saying, oh, I'm happy is not enough an alibi, because even if you're motherfucking happy, when shit hits the fan, you still got business to take care of. So your happiness isn't going to make sure that when AI is introduced and input on fucking digital ID vaccine passports, that your happiness is going to get you out of motherfucking trouble, because it's not. So you still have to prepare, because that's the world that we live in. We've just been bought into the system that everything's okay, that there's no war upon us, that nobody's trying to take our freedom, that nobody's trying to fuck us up. But you could just look at throughout all of history, how many countries have been sieged because they shut down their water, fucked up their water supply, or how many countries have been taken over because they infiltrated through the food system? Tons. Look what's taking place in America, dude. Everybody's fucking fat. You don't think that that's on purpose? It's 100% on purpose. You're killing one of the only places and beacons of freedom left in the world constitutionally. Of course, everybody's attacking it. So the entire premise is, yes, right? Be content with what you have. 100%. Be grateful. If you can put food on the table, you're good. You got your basic necessities covered. You know what now? Somebody wants your fucking freedom. You don't like the truth? That's the truth. What do you think? Biden has your best interest in mind? Come on, bro. Like, it's fucking, he's there stealing. Like, that's the name of the game. Like, you don't understand politics? You're a fucking clown. You think these people work for free? For free? No, the people don't work that way. So once you understand that they don't have your best interest in mind, you have to seek out your own best interest. You have to protect yourself, take care of yourself. That means you have to become better. You have to become better. And what we talk about is becoming better, right? And people don't like that, because becoming better requires what? Accountability and responsibility. And what I always tell people is, the rich and the unrich, the successful and the unsuccessful, they're all self-made. But only the rich and the successful will admit it. The unsuccessful and the broke people, they won't admit that they're self-made, but they are self-made. They are the byproduct of their thoughts and their decisions.